Welcome to another S&P 500 analysis. Today is December 4th, 2020. The S&P 500 continued its push toward the 3,700 level, and it made multiple all-time highs this week. Even in the face of the weakest job report since April of this year, the S&P 500 closed with a new high to end the week. So are you wondering when this upward move will end and when this market will top? In this video, I will give you one thing to look for to see if the market has topped. Also, we will analyze the price action of the S&P 500, review the market sentiment, and its internal to see where the S&P 500 and the rest of the market might be headed in the coming week. Before we begin, if you are new to this channel or have not subscribed to this channel, click on the subscribe button and subscribe. Also, be sure to smash that thumbs up button to help me promote this video on YouTube. In addition, I'd like to thank all of you that have commented to let me know what sort of video you would like to see from me other than this weekly recap and outlook of the S&P 500 and the market. So far, most of you have expressed interest in seeing a midweek video on the indexes and possibly on some market-moving stocks. So starting next week, I will post a midweek video on Wednesday that will cover the S&P 500, the NASDAQ 100, along with other major market indexes and possibly one or two trade ideas on stocks. But remember, in order for this channel to be successful, you need to help me smash that thumbs up button and share your thoughts and insight on the market, stocks, or any other comment you might have in the comment section below. And thank you for your support. Now let's take a look at the market and be sure to stay tuned to find out what one thing to watch for when the market has topped. Looking at this weekly chart of the S&P 500, the S&P 500 made a new all-time high and closed at a new closing high of 3,699.12. For the week, the S&P 500 had a range of just a little bit under 105 points and closed up 60.77 points or 1.67%. The 10-week and 40-week moving average continued to move higher, and the price is still one time framing up. Therefore, the weekly trend remained to be up. Now, before we continue to analyze the S&P 500 and other major market indexes, let's go and take a look at the market sentiment and the market internal and see what they are telling us about the state of the market. Starting with the sentiment chart, the VIX remained to be at the lower bound of this 20-30 zone. And it closed the week at 20.79, just barely above the 20 level. And the put-call ratio is still under 0.5, and it closed the week at 0.49. The New York Stock Exchange up-down volume ratio was respectable on the up days, running between 2 to 3.5 times to 1 in favor of the up volume. On Friday, when the S&P 500 made a new all-time high, it was 3.5 to 1. The New York Stock Exchange advance decline on a daily basis was strong on Friday, with 1,922 more advancers than decliners. The New York Stock Exchange new high, new low was positive throughout the week, with 281 more new 52-week highs than 52-week low on Friday when S&P 500 made a new all-time high. The NYSE cumulative AD line continued to move higher as the S&P 500 moved to new high territory. Now let's take a look at the NASDAQ internal. The up-down volume ratio is not as strong as the New York Stock Exchange. It has 1.5 to 1 up volume to down volume on Friday when it made a new all-time high. And the daily advance decline was strong on Friday with 1,816 more advancing issues than declining issues. And there were 407 more new 52-week high than 52-week low. That's the highest level for over a year. And the NASDAQ cumulative AD line also moved higher as the NASDAQ 100 made new high. Now let's go analyze the price action of the S&P 500 and the major market indexes and see what are some of the possible price action scenarios for the coming week. Looking at the daily chart of the S&P 500, it has moved above this price channel, and it looks more like a breakout of this flag pattern than the price channel. So I'm going to remove this price channel here and basically just focus on this bull flag breakout. Essentially, this is the flag here, and this is the breakout point. So here are the major move levels for the bull flag. At the near the 80% point is a little bit about 3,900, and at the 100% major move, it's just under 4,000, sitting somewhere around 3,989 area. So for the next week, the upside scenario that I'll be looking for will be coming up to the 3,700 level and possibly come up and tag this 3,720. And this 3,720 is the Fibonacci extension, the 127 Fibonacci extension of this pandemic sell-off from February to March here. Right, this is the Fibonacci setup, and here's the 127 extension, and that's where I got the 3,720 level. So for the coming week, the upside scenario that I'll be watching for will essentially be a move toward the 3,700 level and come up possibly to this 3,720. And then if it come back and back test this 3645 for a potential bounce back up, then make its way toward the next round number of 3,800. And for the downside scenario, I essentially are looking for this thing to come down and back test this pivot high here, and along the way fill this gap and also possibly complete this gap fill here that it tried to do, and it was incomplete down here at the 3588 level. So that is essentially the downside scenario that I'll be looking at for the coming week. Now let's take a look at the other major market indexes. The Nasdaq 100 broke out from this balance area and made a new all-time high. We could project some potential target level above the all-time high using this either this sort of a triangle pattern, or essentially this range here. We could basically looking at this range and try to project that up to that 100 level up here. Let me scroll this down so we can see that, and essentially project this up to here. So you can see at the 80% level, that will be somewhere around 13,800. And at the 100 level, that is 14,181. So for the coming week, the upside scenario that I'll be watching for will be a continuation move toward the next round number and possibly up at this 13,000 level. And for the downside, essentially come back in to check this, fill this gap and check this 12,204. And if continue come down, then I'm looking for the possibility of backtesting 11,846. And the Dow Jones Industrial is coming up to this channel here, and I'm looking for a potential breakout into this 31,000 area in the coming week. Essentially looking at this particular bull flag here as a bull flag breakout, and here are the major move level. At the 80% level, somewhere around 32,372, and the 100% major move is 33,191. So the upside is essentially looking for a move to 31,000. The downside is come back in to the bottom of this channel, somewhere around 29,364, and possibly come in and check this pivot high at 29,199.35. The Dow Jones Transportation just squeaked out a new all-time closing high last week after a minor pullback to this 12,379. So for the upside, I'd be continue to watch for it to make its move toward the 13,000 level, and the downside essentially come back in and backtest this 12,379 once again, and possibly come down to this 12,096 and fill this gap here. And the Russell 2000, as you can see, it kind of pulled back a little bit before it made this move toward this 1900 level. And right now, it is just a little bit less than 8 points shy of that 1900 level. So for the coming week, I'd be looking for this thing to continue to push above the 1900 level and move toward the 2000 level. Then on a pullback, I'd be watching for it to possibly maybe pull back to backtest this 1742. That's the 2018 high, and essentially getting back into this retracement zone here, and see would it get a find some support and get a bounce off of that. So that is basically what I'm looking at for the major market indexes and the S&P 500 for the coming week. And as you can see, all the major market indexes, including the S&P 500, made new high last week. Here's one thing to keep an eye on. The market doesn't make a top when there are multiple indexes making new high. When the market top, you will see a major divergence between the market indexes. And when it becomes just a single market index make a new high, while all the other major market indexes do not make a new high, that is a clue that the market might have topped. And especially when the Dow Jones Industrial is the last index to make new high. So in summary, the sentiment are still somewhat bullish, but not euphoric or extremely bullish. The internal from the New York Stock Exchange and the Nasdaq are still showing strength, especially the cumulative AD line. New highs are outnumbering new lows, although it is not expanding, but it is showing the new highs are holding above the new lows. Until we start seeing deterioration on the internals, I will continue to watch for more new high from the S&P 500 and the other market indexes. Be sure to click the thumbs up to help me promote this video on YouTube. Thank you for watching and stay safe.